Welcome to BAS 121. We're going to talk about a scenario a manager markdown. So there's a scenario manager within Excel. I'll show you how it works. I'll tell you up front I'm not a big fan of it, but I'll show it to you once. If you like it, you can use it. I personally like some of the two-way scenarios that I showed you in 8.3. But let's go ahead. Take a look. Here's the markdown model. If you don't remember it, we had retail price and inventory. Again, my gray is my assumptions, and in this case, we're trying to maximize our revenue. So it gives you days at full, retail price, intermediate markdown, retail price, inventory level, selling days for the season, selling days at full price, intermediate, how much we're going to mark it down once we're out of the full retail sales. And then there's a clearance markdown. And they gave us a demand function. So down here our model just took, this was just given to us, the retail price. This we had to calculate. Remember, that's going to be our daily sales units are going to be the minimum of whatever we have in inventory, because we can't sell more than what we have in inventory, or whatever the quantity demanded is. Well, in this case, they gave us a demand function. Remember, demand is a function of price. So what we did here is we said our A was 91 minus our slope, which is 1.2 times whatever the price was. So that gave us the demand in sales per unit per day. And then since we have 40 days, our total number of units are simply the 7 times the 40. The daily sales in units times the number of days at full retail. And then, of course, our revenue is just simply our retail price times our quantity of units sold. Discount gave us the discount level. The discount price, of course, is our full list price times 1 minus the discount. Again, our daily sales are going to be based on our demand function, our units at discount, and then, of course, our revenue is the same scenario. Our unit price times the number of units sold. And then the clearance, it makes an assumption that the clearance price, all our units are sold. So this is just the number, the total in inventory minus the total sold at full real price minus the number sold at the discounted price. So that gives us our revenue for retail, our revenue at the intermediate price, and our revenue at the clearance price. And of course, our total revenue is the sum of all three. Now, if you want to use the scenario manager, here's a couple of scenarios that they gave. And you just go up to Data, What If, Scenario Manager, and you can see if I've added the 1010 and the 2020. The way, if you edit this, I just went in and I said by changing these two cells, my B7 and my B8, right, over here, days at full, and you could make the scenarios on whatever variables you wanted. Now, I guess the power of this is you could do more than two variables if you wanted, but that gets a little complicated. And then I put in here what I wanted. So in the 1010 scenario, I did 1010. In the 2020 scenario, I did 2020. I didn't do the 30 and 40 because I find this very, very cumbersome to type all this in for not a whole lot of value. If you hit summary, it says, well, what do you want me to, what is your summary? And I want the summary to tell me the total revenue in this case. So you see I went to the revenue, you hit OK, sends it to another cell and gives you a scenario summary, which I'm not too thrilled with. Here's the result. It doesn't even tells you got to know C33 is revenue and what these are. So you can do it this way, and I show it to you because the book does it that way. But I really like to just simply down here, I just made another one of these, what I showed you before, that the two-way scenario charts is, to me, much easier. All I did is I said, tell me the intermediate prices, put those in. Tell me days at discount, days at full retail. Then I just highlighted all my cells. and then I went to data table. Now you got to be a little careful with your rows and cells. My rows are that, and my columns are that. And there you get them all, right? You get them all in a nice, neat chart table, and you can look at, here's what my current assumption is: 40 days at 40% in there. Markdown, that's what my revenue would be. And the other thing I like is I think, and I'm going to try this on the fly. Let's say I say, well, that I changed some of these assumptions up here. It'll update the table for you. So there's the scenario manager. You can use it if you find it helpful. Again, it gives you this information here. I like within Excel, I find much more powerful these two-way tables because I think most people would understand this better, and you have the flexibility of doing a lot of your own titles and that stuff. In the next videos, we're going to show you a little bit more power of the Excel add-ins like the solver platform and that stuff, which really allows you to do a lot more scenario planning. But this, I think, is these tables are a great way that a lot of folks can convey this stuff. Hope that helps. Any questions, let me know.